There were 12 people at my wedding 41 years ago, and very few people did I share after that my in-laws were an hour late for my wedding. That day, if you look at the pictures, my face was long. I was like, what am I getting myself into? And it's ended up to be the best thing that I ever did in my life. So how'd I get there? Two years after we were married, we could barely stand each other. Even though we loved each other dearly, we were passionate about each other, we were great friends, my husband and I were from very different backgrounds. I was from an Irish Catholic, extremely social, effusive family, and my husband was from a Russian Orthodox Jew, conservative, quieter family. So we were coming from completely different places with each other. But we just magically thought it would all work because we were great friends and we got along when we were alone. So what happened is you put the family in the mix. Because the first 2 years we lived away. He had to do 2 years in the Air Force. And when we moved back home, boom, we had to relate to the families. Sound familiar? So what I want to say to you is there are so many factors in a marriage to deal with. And one of the things that I do as a relationship expert is talk to people about whatever it is that hasn't worked for them, usually can be fixed. What happens is many times people will ignore it, they won't do anything about it, they'll put it under the rug, and eventually feelings will die. And then you have divorce. What happened is my husband and I never put anything under the rug, and I would recommend that. Now, it may look like a lot of work, and it is at first, because you have to sort things out. I'll never forget when I was watching the first Christmas special by Obama. He talked about that the first 5 years that they were married, no one was backing down. Well, what that had to do is they were both college educated, they were both attorneys. Attorneys don't back down. Well, my husband and I went to graduate school. We were both strong-willed, we both had our own minds. Why would anybody think we were going to back down? I work with all kinds of people. You could be shy and you don't speak up. Our problem was we weren't shy and we did speak up. But there are so many different variations on that theme. My passion is for you to realize that you can have the precious possession of an incredibly intimate, successful, loving, supportive, caring marriage if you just do the work. Most people don't want to do the work. They think it ought to just work. Well, I know that when we got married, it was the end of the 70s, and it was very feminist, and it was very March on Washington, and I gotta be me. And so we just thought, well, if it doesn't work, we'll just get a divorce. But the secret is that deep down, we didn't want that. And deep down, nobody wants that, because I see that in my office. Even the people that do divorce, no one started off deep down wanting that. So it takes work, but it can only work if both of you will do the work. If just one person does 100%, not going to work. So that's the first thing, is everybody has to chip in. The other part of it is relationships from the past. Often there'd be one person that dominated and one person just acquiesced. Well, today we're really going for partnership. People have an ability to support themselves financially. They don't have to stay married, females and males. And what happens is you need to have a mutuality, you need to have cherishing, you need to really work things out. You need to have mutual agreement. And that's the hard work that people wonder, where did this come from? Well, it came from the liberation that we all feel. I have 5 C's, and I like sometimes when things are simple, because it actually isn't simple. But the way I define it is I say C for commitment, the commitment to do everything that you need to do to have it work. Now, of course, you have a partner that isn't, not going to work. Second one, communication. Well, everybody hears about communication. And for me, the communication, the secret is to actually listen to each other. Now, some people have the problem that they don't speak up. But I find that certainly with my husband and I, we were both speaking up. Nobody was listening. And there's a wonderful Turkish proverb that says, if speaking is silver, then listening is gold. And then there's conflict resolution, And the big secret about that people don't always talk about is that you can have every technique in the book about how to resolve conflict. But in a marriage, people bring their backgrounds in. And if they don't get to know themselves and realize how their backgrounds affected them, their conflict resolution isn't going to work. One quick example would be is if you were a latchkey kid and never had enough attention, even though you understood your single parent had to work, when your spouse doesn't give you any time and attention, you will feel that severe, that deep, that stinging pain that you felt, that abandonment that you felt in the relationship. And it really will have to do with from when you were little as well. And then there's cherishing. We never had a problem with cherishing. We had a problem with conflict resolution, we had conflict communication, and we were committed. But cherishing, we always loved each other. We always had great sex. We always kissed. We always said, we love you. But I find that most people that come into my office don't do that. Do it every day, every moment. Do it with your kids too. But first of all, do it with your spouse. And if you can do little things like notes, make each other coffee, be thoughtful, that's all really good. And the last one I want to mention is a communion of spirit. Because when two people love each other and they work out a relationship, what they become is bigger than themselves. Ray Croft has a saying. He says that, I don't love you for who you are, I love you for who I am when I'm with you. It's who you become is something that goes back out into the world and makes a difference. It unleashes your passion. It unleashes your purpose for being here in life. Thank you.